Hey everyone, Dan Heilman here, and this is going to be another Summoner's Glory video. I'm going to go through, and as quickly as I can, review every phantom in the game. Let's see how fast I can make this video. Let's go. Water. Okay, Sea Warrior. Used for placing reduced speed on enemies. Needs to crit to reduce the speed the most, so you got to build him with crit rate. Has 2 places to land speed from the A1 and from his passive when he crits. Haley is a PvP phantom. Used for CC, usually used with a Headcracker set. Her A2 hits 3 times. Each time has a chance to proc Headcracker. Also reduces attack bar. She also has a passive that immediately takes action regardless of how full. So that means every time your ally has a turn, she can get an extra turn. Poseidon, a tank. Tanks are not super useful in this game. Is probably the 3rd best tank. He has a A1 that hits 3 targets. Chance to taunt. He has Life Leech whenever he attacks a target that has a taunt on it, and he has a chance to counterattack. Decent, never really used. King of Magrad, he is a CC Phantom. He freezes on hit with this AoE, and he also freezes when he takes damage. He also has some damage mitigation and gets extra turns. So decent CC Phantom, not really used in the game. Water Elf is a cleanser, so he's the only phantom in the game right now who can remove buffs from enemies. He also has an AoE attack. Decent, not really used. Water Ghost has a chance to reduce speed of enemies. He also increases his own speed and has an AoE that does terrible damage. So not really used. Alright, let's move on. Sanctuary Protector. Decent hitting. Never seen him built. Has some earth marks that gives him more damage. Has an AoE attack that does decent damage. Never seen him built. Might do some damage. Siren, single target. Has a hard-hitting single target ability. Has a chance to freeze. And has a chance to increase speed. Never seen her built. Hits decently hard, but single target only. Sea Hunter has a counter attack that does some damage. Has a chance to place bleed on one of these. Yep, this one right here. And every time he loses some health, he gains some damage, which is kind of useless in my book. Tide Psychic has an AoE attack, chance to freeze, increases his own magic attack in battle. Not very good. Shark Spearman is basically a phantom that is used to land bleed on enemies. A lot of people use him just to test out other phantoms' damage. He does have a chance to place 2 bleeds, and he hits fairly hard single target. So bleed lands here, guaranteed. He also has a chance to land bleed, and whenever there's a bleed, he does even more physical damage. Only phantom in the game I don't have, that's SS. Tide Adept hits decently hard, has a 370% damage multiplier on the A2, grants bonus damage to himself, and also reduces speed. Not very good. Dreadsword has a very hard-hitting A1, or A2, only hits 1 target, and has a chance to increase speed and some weird interaction with enchantments that go the wrong way when you level it up. Never seen him used. Might be useful in PvP. Sapphire Colossus, a tank. Doesn't hit very hard. Has a decent chance to freeze, and increases physical defense randomly. Gabbler, the little snowball, A tier only, and is useless. Okay, Evolution Phantom, not in the game right now. Let's move to Fire, which is called Raiding for some reason here. Okay, Goddess Zoe, best phantom in the game. Incredibly hard-hitting A1, incredibly hard-hitting AoE, places burning as well. Buffs everyone's damage, including Lord of Shadows, 25%, the entire team. Heals, craziest healer in the game, heals 16% after every ally's turn. Dragon Seer, meh, lands some fire, hits decently hard, single target, and sets a lot of people on fire. Also restores some HP when attacking things on fire. Sea Conqueror, amazing phantom, is used as an initiator. Has a magic and physical defense break on the A1, has an ability here that absorbs all enemies' attack bar by 25%, and another ability that increases everyone's attack bar by 35%, as well as a high chance to get extra turns, and you can chain a lot of extra turns. amazing Phantom. Exiled Berserker, this A2 is the damage dealing ability, does 85% of his HP, build him high HP, he hits hard, he also has some damage mitigation passives. Fire Thief, the main ability for this guy is this passive increased crit rate in battle. So you can build him with crit damage runes instead of crit rate runes. He has a hard hitting AoE here that hits 4 targets on a 3-turn cooldown. He also has this little thing where he stacks up extra damage if he takes hits. Legendary Warrior, actually a very hard hitting A1, has no other damage abilities, has every other ability he has is just used to reduce his damage taken. Kind of weird. He has a single target taunt for some reason, and he's supposed to be a tank. Odd. Definitely doesn't take any damage, does decent damage, but doesn't really taunt or act like a tank at all. Kurur, this is like the poor man's Ankaris, has a single target ability that hits very hard. Fastest Phantom as far as base speed in the game. Also has a chance to proc extra damage hits here, and has a chance to increase the speed even further. So it might be cool to get some massive speed on him and just watch him go like crazy. Queen of Chaos lands Confusion and also has a pretty hard-hitting AoE attack. Good Phantom. Confusion's not the best in the game, but she's cool. She also hides in the Shadow Realm and increases her damage. Bloody Overlord, underrated Phantom. You can farm him in Phantom Abode. Has a very hard-hitting A3, especially when they have a debuff. Also, the A3 is only on a 2-turn cooldown. Has a damage buff for 1 person. And has an A1 that hits 2 enemies and has lifesteal. Cool Phantom, never built him out, but very promising. General of Fire, probably the second best tank in the game. He taunts enemies. He reduces damage right after he does his taunt ability. He also lifesteals whenever he damages someone who has a taunt on them, and he has a chance to counterattack. Decent tank. Obviously, tanks are not really meta in the game right now. Fire, useless. Flame Draconoid, hits hard, has this chance to stun and a passive crit damage, but again, only hits 1 target, so meh. Duke of Fate, hard-hitting A2 here. Hits even harder if you have Confusion on, and also places Confusion. So hits hard, also has attack bar reduction. Cool Phantom, not very well known, not in the meta, but hits very hard. Goblin Transporter has an AoE that does garbage damage and some magic defense. Not very good. Scarlet Dragoness, actually a pretty rare Phantom, has some damage based on her HP right here, and she also has a passive crit rate, which is pretty cool. That means you can build her with crit damage runes. Single target, probably hits hard, but only single target. Fiery Dragon, garbage. Single target and sets people on fire and is garbage. These are experienced Phantoms. They give you more experience the further you go this direction. This is a skill Phantom. It skills up any skill on any Phantom. The skill that skills up is random. Okay, let's move from fire to wind. Alchemist, hard-hitting A1, places a crazy amount of poisons, has the only increased speed buff in the game for the whole team, and places even more poisons. A1 hits pretty hard, but decent support. King Argon hits hard, a little bit of RNG because of this passive here, which transforms his A1 into an AoE attack. He also has some increased crit rate when they're less than 50% HP or more damage if they're above 50%. Hits hard, but is not in the meta. Tiara, she is a debuff remover from your team. She has this ability right here that heals everyone and removes 1 debuff from all your allies. She has lifesteal on both of her damage abilities. She does have an AoE damage that hits decent, and she has some passive magic defense penetration. Destroyer Vizier, decent hitter, has a crit damage passive that gives him more crit damage, and also has a passive that stacks his crit rate when he doesn't crit. His damage is a 3 target hitter and it does 300%. Hits hard, not a meta Phantom. Secret Dancer, she is a meta phantom. She has some coordinated attack. Whenever anyone on your team attacks, she has a chance to attack with them. She has some of her damage based on HP, and she has a 4-hitter. Unfortunately, she is all single target. I'm not a huge fan of her. Some people love her. Forest Longear, garbage. Forest Dryad, garbage. Wood Elf, garbage. Heals everyone, or hits everyone, does terrible damage, but does have a chance to stun, and passive magic defense, but that's it. Useless. Sand Adept is known for his aura. It gives 20% physical and magic attack to your entire team. It says physical only. It is not. Astral Clock, decent support, has this really cool immunity to all CC, increased attack bar for your whole team, and a heal that also increases physical and magic attack. Also has attack bar on the A1. Pretty cool. Swordsman Guard, pretty rare phantom. It's a tank. She has a really high chance to counterattack and taunt while she does it, and has a decent hitting ability, does 280%, but single target. Gale Archer, the weakest phantom in the entire game. Sentry Mage, decent, has an AoE, can also land reduced speed on the entire team, and when she loses HP, she gains more damage, which I don't think is a very good ability. Lord's Guardian, tank, terrible. Don't even look at him. Terrible Infector, lands some poisons, reduces physical defense. I'm sorry, not poisons, lands bleeding, and a small chance to taunt. Garbage. Goblin Miner, garbage. Converts some damage that he takes into a heal that heals allies. Never seen anyone use them. Probably not that useful. Light. Lunar Goddess. She's a free champion. I'm sorry, not a free champion. She's in the $5 pack that you buy in the very beginning of the game. She's a decent support. She has, she's known for this ability right here. Heals everyone by 45%, increases attack bar by 30%. So that's her main ability that she's known for. And she also puts a heal over time whenever she heals. Zeus, he is a S tier phantom. The best way to land Paralyze in the game, 100% chance. AoE attack. This ability is useless, but it's not even used on auto. Great phantom. King Arthur, completely redone recently. Awesome tank. Best tank in the game. He has this really high chance to counterattack and do a shit ton of damage. Great phantom. Is really good in the battle wound set, so he heals every time. He also has this single target ability that hits extremely hard and has a chance to AoE the whole team and place the taunt. Merlin has a buff, an aura for the entire team, magic attack by 45%. Even though it says it's only him, it's not. Also has this awesome 12 hitter that absorbs attack bar. He has this buff, which is meh, and then also has an A1 that reduces attack bar as well. Very good for reducing attack bar. Also hits very hard. Hardest hitting single target damage dealer in the game. Alice hits decently hard with this ability right here, especially when she has her little flower stacks. Also can use the flower stacks to reduce damage taken. Cool phantom. No one really uses her, but I think she might be decently strong. I might try to build her out sometime. Ellie, she has some heals. Basically, when she does damage, she heals the lowest HP person, and she has this thing where she goes to sleep if she dies. Kind of useless. Ambassador of Light, decent damage dealer, single target only. It does have a chance to place a slow. Just kind of meh. There's much better damage dealers. Ancaris, this is the phantom you get for spending money in the game. You can also pull her from books. She has a great kit. She has this buff that increases her damage like crazy and heals her. And then she has this 7-hitter that just clears whole teams when she's built very well. She also has a chance whenever she's hit to just go. So pretty cool. Awesome phantom. That is who my main damage dealer is. Gleaming Guardian does some damage, does some heals. Never used them, never seen them being used. Not very good. Victoria, decent damage dealer. Takes a while to build up her stacks, which give her most of her damage. Again, she's only a single target hitter. You can see here, hits 6 times in a row. So decent, not the best, needs a buff. Will probably be the next person to be buffed. Darkness. Weird kit, does all sorts of weird things. No one even knows what it means. No one's ever used him. He seems to be the most common Phantom in the game. I have a trillion copies of him for SS. Lord of Shadows, hardest hitting Phantom in the entire game. All of his damage is based on HP for this ability, which is his hard-hitting ability. Basically deals 42% of his max HP. Has some counterattacks. Also places Unkillable. Unkillable is cool in PvP and with hard content. Dracula has some lifesteal on his A1. Has a hard-hitting AoE. Also has this thing where he removes control effects and restores some HP. Cool Phantom. Hits hard. He's a pain to face in Ghost Vault. Not many people use him as their sole damage dealer, but is a solid damage dealer. Also has a chance to stun on his AoE. Pretty cool. Demon Catcher has some weird things with marks and explosions. Single target damage dealer with a tiny bit of splash damage. Not very good damage dealer. Jester used to be the OG. This is the free champion. Everyone used to use him. His kit is super RNG based. He has all these things where he draws cards and he either AoEs or he stuns or he does a single target. He also has attack bar increase or attack increase for your team, but it's a 50-50 chance, so it's kind of RNG based. Puppeteer, only Resurrector in the game. Also the only AoE decreased defense attack in the game. Also has an A1 that does solid damage and absorbs the attack bar. Obviously the only Resurrector in the game. And has this cool thing. When she takes damage, she reflects damage and heals. So that's pretty cool. Minor Darkness is useless. Mystic is basically a support champion just in there to give this buff right here. Increased crit rate of all allies in battle by 35%. Also can land Paralyze, but has a pretty poor chance to do it. Also has some lifesteal built into his kit and a heal reduction. This guy's total weird. He has all these attacks that do the same thing, but different types of magic damage. Never seen him used. Dracula Eye is a good Phantom, has a high speed. He's known for this ability right here. Attacks 3 enemies 4 times, deals great damage, also absorbs attack bar by 30%. Also has a chance to get turns whenever an ally has a turn, so he gets extra turns, and he has this passive which ignores 80% magic defense, so hard-hitting Phantom, great for attack bar reduce. Idol of Evil, tank, totally useless, don't even look at him. Black Swan, not in the game yet, will be in the game, and has some very cool abilities. Has an A1 that hits the whole, it's AoE, does solid damage, and is going to be pretty tanky and has a high chance to land Confuse on enemies. Okay, that was my speed run, going through all the Phantoms in the game, what I think, what they do, and which ones you should focus on. Hope you enjoyed the video. Go down, smash that like button, subscribe to the channel if you're not already, and have a great day. All right, see ya.